We see a couple who are driving and suddenly the driver sees something and crashes in an animal. The driver Choi gets down and sees he has killed a dog and lifts it and puts it in car dicky. We see he has kidnapped a young girl who is already in the dicky and requests him to let her go. The girl in car hears a noise and follows it in forest and sees Choi digging a hole in a wall. She sees the girl and gets scared, and Choi puts the girl in the hole, and this place is called Jang Cave. He closes the hole with bricks and decides to leave from there, but hears the girl in wall call for help. He made sure the girl was dead and removes the brick to check, and hears the girl again and gets scared. He decides to leave from there, and we see something escape from here, and later we meet Hae-yeon. She is at a hospital to get her mother checked, who is suffering from memory loss due to old age. The doctor advises her to leave her mom here in their care, but Hae-yeon decides not to and leaves. Hae-yeon decides to take her mom and husband to Jang, which is her hometown, and believes this will help with her memory. They move to new location where Hae-yeon runs a dog rehab center, and we meet her daughter Jun. She is playing on iPad with a game which mimics her sound, and we see a lady with stick looking at her house. Next day, the grandmother Sunja feels her brother is calling her, but Jun tells she has passed away. Sunja feels scared and asks Jun to leave from here, and they go to the house, and Hae-yeon goes shopping. She sees a young boy and feels it's her lost son Junsu and goes after him and comes home. She tells her husband Miho about it, who asks her if she has taken her medicines and says their son got lost 5 years ago. He says the police are looking in the matter, but Hae-yeon believes they are not doing enough and cries. Miho says she needs to look after Jun and says he will again go to police to ask about the investigation. Hae-yeon takes her medicines and cries, remembering her son, and later meets 2 kids searching for their dog. This is same dog we saw at the start which got killed, and Hae-yeon says she didn't see him here. The boy calls his sister and says he saw his dog in the forest, and they go to look for it. They find the car and the cave with the wall and see the wall is broken, and the girl goes inside. She hears her dog making sound and tries to look at it with her mobile light, but gets pulled inside. The boy gets scared but sees the girl has come outside, and they run away and bring Miho with them. He checks the hole but finds nothing, and Hae-yeon finds a mirror covered in tape, which she removes it. She sees a reflection of small girl in mirror and goes to find her in the jungle and see her standing. The girl is scared and doesn't answer to anything Hae-yeon asks, and she hears the kids calling for help. Miho goes inside after hearing some noise and finds a gate and opens it and suddenly sees a girl. This girl is same from the start, who falls on Miho and looks like she has been tortured and dies. The police come and seal the area, and an officer Lee finds an old photo which has the same girl from jungle in it. The 2 kids are safe, and the police question Hae-yeon and Miho about what happened here. Hae-yeon asks police if they found the small girl, and they say they wouldn't find any girl. She gets angry and leaves from there, and later at night Hae-yeon hears someone at her door. She goes down and sees the same girl from jungle and invites her inside, and Miho asks if she's lost. The girl does not reply, and Hae-yeon decides to let her stay for night, and at police station. Officer Kim goes over past cases. He sees all cases near the cave had one thing in common, where they heard voices calling them in of their dead family members. He sees all the photos, and Hae-yeon gives a bath to the girl and sees she was beaten and has marks on her back. Jun comes to call her mother, and the girl hears some noise calling her and looks scared. Later, Hae-yeon gives her son Junsu's clothes to the girl, and she calls her mom same like Jun. Hae-yeon asks her name, and she says she is also called Jun, which surprises Hae-yeon. Later, Miho hears some noise and sees small girl is playing with iPad and repeating what it says. Later, Hae-yeon has a dream about her son and wakes up with itching eyes and sees Miho has itching eyes. They feel it's an injection and sees an old blind lady has come to their house, who tells them the cave has been opened. She says she can hear voices again and asks them to leave this place and goes away from there. New girl checks the cupboard and sees Jun playing and mimics her laugh and voice perfectly. Miho is working with the dogs and hears someone talk to him in Junsu's voice, which scares him. He sees his daughter Jun is playing with the dogs, and at police station, Kim meets with Choi. He asks him about his car found at Jang Cave, but we see Choi has lost his vision and cannot see. Kim asks him about the dead girl, but Choi keeps hearing voices to come to the cave and doesn't answer anything. Hae-yeon asks Jun go to sleep and checks her, and the girl asks her to sleep with her. At night, Choi washes his eyes and hears someone knocking on the cupboard. He opens the door and sees someone tapping the glass. He gets scared and falls down, and his face looks possessed, and he is killed, and later the girl goes in grandmother's room. She talked to her in her brother's voice and goes inside, and next morning Miho tells Hae-yeon the new girl sounds exactly like their daughter. He asks her if she has informed the police, and she has no, so Miho asks her to take the girl to station. Sunja is behaving weirdly, and the voice is asking to come with her, and Hae-yeon goes upstairs to find the girl. She cannot find her in her room and sees she is hiding in a cupboard. Suddenly Sunja comes there. She attacks them with a knife, and Hae-yeon runs outside and hides in rehab center and hears some noise. She sees the girl is hiding here and is scared and has a sharp mirror with her, but Hae-yeon calms her down. She talks to her, and the girl cries and calls her mom, and then hugs her, and at night Miho meets Sunja. He sees she has covered the mirror in tape, and tells Hae-yeon that mother hasn't been taking her pills. He says they need to shift her to nursing home, but Hae-yeon doesn't agree. The girl comes and calls Miho dad, and asks Hae-yeon to make her sleep. Later Hae-yeon tells the girl how she lost her son Junsu when she left him with her mother for some time. Her mother was sick and Junsu left her hand and went away, and Miho hears this and packs Sunja's luggage. He says he doesn't trust the girl and feels her mother will be safe in nursing home, and it's good for Jun also. Hae-yeon says Miho can't send everyone away, and she sees Junsu and the girl and says she will stay here only. They both fight, and Miho says their son is dead, and they must accept this, and at night Sunja hears voices. It talks to her through the mirror and asks her to meet, and Sunja goes alone towards the cave. Next morning, everyone searches for Sunja, but cannot find her, and Miho notices something in mirror. He opens the tape to see 2 handprints on it, and asks the girl if she knows where Sunja has gone. Later Hae-yeon calls Officer Kim and says Miho has not returned home after he went to search for Sunja. She tells him about the girl and says she has been staying with her from 2 days and goes to find her. She cannot find the girl, and Kim asks how she looks, and Hae-yeon tells she is smaller than Jun and has bob-cut hair. Kim remembers something and shows Hae-yeon a photo, and she says this is the girl, but Kim says this photo was taken in 1980. Hae-yeon cannot believe this, and Kim goes to police station and checks many records which say many missing victims, says this girl. The blind lady finds Hae-yeon and tells that long time ago there lived a tiger named Jangsan who could mimic human voice. A shaman used to worship the tiger to gain power, and slowly, he could also mimic dogs and other humans. He lived with his daughter, who was same girl living with Hae-yeon, and he used to hit her and abuse her a lot. The girl used to wait for her mom, and the tiger slowly started taking over shaman's body, and he wanted more. The shaman then decided to sacrifice his daughter and locked her in a drum and did a ritual to please the tiger. They both were sacrificed to the tiger, and from that day onwards people started missing near the cave. They both mimic voices and lure people to the cave, and then they are sacrificed to the tiger. The blind lady tells Hae-yeon that the girl and shaman work together, and she mustn't trust the girl. She says Hae-yeon will feel her eyes losing sight when the tiger begins taking over her body and gives her a ring to protect herself. She runs towards her home, and Jun hears her mother calling her and goes downstairs and sees Jangsan Tiger come out of the mirror. She gets scared and runs and hides in the rehab center, where the girl comes and talks to her in Hae-yeon's voice. She asks her to trust her and come with her, and Hae-yeon comes home to find Jun missing and finds the girl hiding in the cupboard. Hae-yeon asks the girl if she can take her to the cave where Miho and Sunja are, and she asks Hae-yeon if she will protect her. Hae-yeon agrees not to leave her and protect her and hides all mirror and closes all windows to protect Jun. She tells Jun to be inside the house and not leave, and asks her to call Officer Kim the next morning. She and the girl travel to the cave, and the girl tells her not to make any sound or reply to anyone in the cave. Inside the cave, Hae-yeon feels her eye losing sight, and she makes a noise after which she starts hearing voices. She hears Sunja and Miho call her for help, and also hears Junsu's voice asking her to save him. She sees Jangsan coming towards her, and they run from there, and Jangsan uses Junsu's voice to fool Hae-yeon. The girl saves her, and Jangsan uses different mirrors to attack Hae-yeon and tells her in different voices she is responsible for losing her son. She closes her ears and Jangsan grabs her from behind, but Miho comes and saves her and smashes the mirror. All mirrors in the cave break, and Jangsan is in pain, and Miho asks Hae-yeon to leave the cave. He says he found an exit and she should leave, and he will stay here since he cannot see and is blind now. He asks her to get help, and we see Kim has also arrived at the cave, and Hae-yeon tries to climb out of a hole. She gets a call from Kim, but her hand slips, but Jangsan grabs her hand, which scares her, and she falls down. Miho saves her, and they both try to run, but Jangsan comes there and stops them and talks to them in Jun's voice. Miho asks Hae-yeon to not trust the girl, who asks Hae-yeon not to leave her, but Hae-yeon sees she cannot see much. She leaves the girl, who cries and asks her to come back, and we see Jangsan is turning into a tiger. They use their mobile light to find the stairs and start climbing, but Hae-yeon hears Junsa's voice calling her. Miho tells her it's a lie, but Hae-yeon cannot resist Junsa's cry and leaves Miho and goes towards him. Miho begs Hae-yeon to come back, but she goes in the cave and sees her son, who is crying for her. She says she will never leave him again and hugs him, and Miho comes out of the cave and is found by Kim. Later we see Hae-yeon and the little girl go deep in the cave, and we see the cave has been sealed from outside.